At this time. And if there's a desire to take photographs, I'll allow that before I read the judgment. Okay. As to count one, defendant shall be committed to the custody of the Department of Corrections for life imprisonment with a minimum confinement of 30 years without the possibility of parole, release, or post-prison supervision or temporary leave. And that this sentence shall be served consecutively to counts 10 and 14. As to count 10, the defendant is sentenced to 120 months without any reduction of sentence to the Department of Corrections, and this sentence shall be served 15 months concurrent and 105 months consecutive to count 14. That as to count 14, the defendant shall be committed to the custody of the Department of Corrections for 120 months without reduction. As to counts 15, 16, 17, and 18, the court, having determined that Mr. Butts is guilty except for insanity, that he will serve 20 years each on counts 19, 24, with a and as to counts 19 and 24, a maximum sentence of 5 years each for a total maximum commitment to the PSRB. So the defendant will be sentenced to both the PSRB for not to exceed 90 years and for a sentence to the Department of Corrections for life with a minimum period before being considered for any sort of parole of 30 years, which will be consecutive to an additional 20 years. And there will be credit given for time served in this matter. So that will conclude our sentencing here today, unless the attorneys have anything further that they need to bring the court's attention.
Just one correction as to your last statement, Your Honor. It's consecutive in term that's actually less than 20 years because the 115 months is concurrent.
Okay.
So it's just, you had the, it was accurately stated, but it's not 30 years following at 20 years. It's 48 years,
It would
9
be
months.
the 18 years and 9 months, I would.
Yeah.
Okay,
Judge,
that's correct.
That's
just
correct.
to summarize the intent of the parties.
Okay, go ahead.
With respect to counts 1, 10, and 14, to just summarize that sentence all in one statement. It's life in prison, and parole eligibility will occur when Mr. Butts turns 70 years old. With respect to the state hospital portion of the sentence, that is, he's received a number of sentences where he will be under the jurisdiction of the PSRB, and at a time determined by the PSRB to be appropriate, he will be transferred to DOC to serve out the remainder of his sentence in the state prison system.
Anything further?
Well, just one clarification on that, and the parties do agree on this, is he's not sentenced until he's 70 before the eligibility date. It's a term of 48 years, 9 months, which works out to be that age range, but it's the term itself is 48 years, 9 months.
Thank you for those clarifications. And if there's nothing else, we'll go ahead and conclude the proceeding.
Thank you.
Thank you.